What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we got another motorcycle video. We're going to be comparing my friend's 2020 Yamaha MT09 and comparing that to my own bike, which is a 2007 Yamaha R6. Now obviously they are quite a few years apart, but this R6 is pretty much the same as the new one. The new generation is around the 16 model year, and they did do some drastic changes to the exterior, but fundamentally it's still a very similar bike. So in today's video we're going to test out to see what it's like comparing Yamaha's SUPERSPORT bike and then their naked style bike. And being both of these are from Yamaha, it gives you a really good idea of what you're going to get with those kind of bikes. I've had my bike now for over 3 years. I just hit 20,000 miles, and this bike is my friend Cameron's. I'll have his Instagram down below. Check him out. He actually sold me my Toyota Supra. Cameron's a super cool dude, and this is his brand new bike. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about the performance specifications, all the numbers on the bike, a little bit of the styling, and then ride them to see what they're like back to back. So to start it all off with some of the performance specifications and the numbers. So on the MT09, this features an inline 3-cylinder engine that has 847 cc's. Over on the R6, this will come with a 4-cylinder inline engine with 599 cc's. The MT09 cranks out 115 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 65 pound-feet of torque at 8,500 RPM. While over on the R6, this has more horsepower at 125, and that comes in at 14,500 RPM. And then it has less torque at 43.8 pounds, and that comes on at 11,500. Top speed is also a little bit different. The R6 goes up to 160, while the MT09 is down at 140. They both feature 41mm inverted front forks. The R6 has travel at 4.7 inches. The MT09, you get a little bit more travel at 5.4 inches. And then they have single shocks in the rear that are both adjustable with 5.1 inches of travel for the MT09 and then 4.7 on the R6. The MT09 has a 3.7 gallon fuel tank and it gets around 44 miles per gallon. The R6 has a larger fuel tank at 4.6 gallons and they say it gets around 33 miles per gallon. However, I do get around 40. And then as far as some of the measurements, the seat height on the MT09 is lower at 32.3 inches while the R6 is at 33.5 inches. And the overall wheelbase on the R6 is 54.3, while the wheelbase is 56.7 on the MT09. So that's all the numbers between the two bikes. Now if we take a look at the exterior styling, obviously there is a big difference. This is the naked upright style sport bike, has a very aggressive design to it. I do love how both of these are finished off in the Yamaha Racing Blue. So this one, obviously you can see the design of it, very good sharp angles. I do have a full review of this bike down in the description and a full review of this bike in the description as well if you want to see more details. But you can see them side by side, they look completely different. Of course this is the sport bike style. Very nice looking with all the body work. You can see a lot of the fairings, a lot of body panels are going to be on a sport bike like this. This bike, really just the gas tank is the main body panel, and then you just have fenders and then the painted wheels. So now, let's go ahead and hop on these things and see what they're like riding back to back. Alright guys, we are now on the MT09, just turning the ignition on. We have the LCD display here, all digital. We have your gear, your speedometer, different driving modes, fuel capacity, and then a tachometer on the top. So modes, you just go between A, B, and then a standard mode. I'll stick with mode A, that is the most aggressive. I have plenty of experience. And then if we toggle this one up, that'll turn traction control off. And then firing it up, it roars to life. So now the biggest differences are, this is an upright, that is more of that sport bike. So with this, I'm sitting up nice and tall. My back is very straight, so for overall comfort, this is a more comfortable riding bike for just a long commute, long road trips and things like that. And then even hitting some speed bumps, I mean you hit the bump, you feel it of course, but it's comfortable enough. So then as far as power, getting up and going from first gear, giving it some gas. This bike has a lot of torque. It definitely is more noticeable. That low end power, this thing just gets up and goes. Going down to fourth gear at 4,000, I mean, it actually pulls you back. Like you have to hold on. So it's nice that the usable power in this bike is definitely there. I love that. And then as far as agility for higher speed turns, this has a really good lean in, so it still has that sport bike characteristic. I can take a sharp turn, I can maneuver the bike very well. So I like how the performance side is still there. It's fun to take some turns with. And while this does weigh more than the R6, it seems like it's just as agile, and I can lean it side to side super easily, so I do like that a lot. And then when you are doing the slow speeds, the turning circle is super tight. Seems very easy to maneuver. And then getting back up and going, this thing will wheelie very easily. The front end comes off the ground without even thinking. But then taking high speed turns again, I mean, it's fun. You can definitely have fun with this bike when you're out on the fun roads. I don't see any issue. You're not compromising the fun factor just to get the comfort. So fun side of it, it's very nimble. I feel like it's easy enough to move back to back. So I like the fun side of the MT09. And then back to normal riding, this is comfortable and smooth. The exhaust is very quiet on this one because it is bone stock, but I am definitely enjoying just cruising around on it. And then with the different driving modes, you can make this a little bit more conservative. You have ABS to help you out a little bit for inclement weather or any type of slippery condition. But that's the overall ride of the MT09. I mean, a really good blend of fun and performance. It is very fast. Like, it has some serious power to it, and the power is very usable given that it has so much torque down low. And then walking over now to the R6, completely different style of bike. So this is gonna feel weird hopping on now that I'm used to the other bike. So this one, of course, I'm leaning way far over. This is much different. This is a lot louder too. I have a mid-pipe and the GYTR slip-on. But you're definitely sitting more forward. Arms are still straight, but you're leaning on your arms rather than being upright on the other bike. So then, wow, the suspension is actually a lot stiffer already, just hitting little bumps. I did not feel them on the other one. And then, oh boy, speed bumps are much harder on this bike as well. So already I'm finding the performance side, this feels more solid in the sense of like a performance bike. But then as far as acceleration goes for this one, let's see what this is like. So there is a noticeable difference. This bike takes a while to get up and go. The limited torque and the gearing ratio is honestly a lot different to where this bike has the top end horsepower for racing. You know, over 100 miles an hour, this thing takes off like a rocket. The other bike is going to smoke this on a slow speed drag race. But then as far as the fun factor, this bike, this definitely has cornering abilities to where it feels much more planted. You can tell this bike is completely at home when you're driving it hard, taking hard turns, high speed, maneuverability like that. I am seeing a noticeable difference. And then when you are in the parking lot, from my own experience, the turning is not as easy on this. It's still a pretty decent radius, but it is a little bit harder. And then as far as wheeling, I will not be able to do a wheelie on this unless I really pin it. So even there, couldn't even do a wheelie. So this does not have the low end power. But yeah, clearly a big difference as far as just the handling goes. And then just for normal riding, I have over 20,000 miles on this. I've done about 8,000 on this bike. It's still plenty comfortable. You do have to sit up a little bit and stretch your back out sometimes. But I do like the seat a little bit better on this bike. I feel like on the MT09, I was sliding forward just a little bit. So I do like the seat on this, but my legs are still in a really good position to where I feel comfortable enough. I could see the MT09 being better for the longer haul just because it is a more comfortable riding position. But it is pretty cool to see the differences. And while this isn't as comfortable because of obvious reasons, this is comfortable enough. Some people say this is a little too aggressive, but I'm very used to it. But there's a huge difference between the two bikes. The MT09 still has a lot of performance, more usable torque. I mean, that is so much fun to play with. That bike feels faster in the slow speed just because, well, it has a heck of a lot more torque, so it can be like that. But then I know way up above like 100 miles an hour, this thing will take off for sure. But that is really cool comparing the two bikes, completely different riding experiences. And I like how both bikes have a lot to offer. I am enjoying the comfort side of this one. It's super comfortable and just usable around town, has a lot to offer. And I think it all goes into what are you going to be using the bike for. This one for the around town daily riding is a better bike. I would rather do this stuff that I do on this one because it's more comfortable and has more usable power. But for me, I do like this as a toy, just a weekend bike. However, I daily ride this thing all the time. I go grocery shopping in this pretty much every other weekend. So I do a lot of the normal stuff, but a lot of what the bike has to offer, you are not going to be using unless you're actually out on the track or out on the mountains hitting it really hard. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. I didn't lag too far behind. Should we do it again going this way? Yeah, okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Not too bad. Yeah. Let's do me in second now with you in second, and that'll be it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. That was good. That was a good realistic one because you took off, and then once we got towards the camera, I started getting up to you. So taking a look at that mini little drag race between the two bikes, you can see that the usable power down low on the MT09 has an advantage over the R6. The first acceleration, the MT09 was in second gear while the R6 was in first gear. So I had to be at a higher rev to actually keep up. And we were pretty much neck and neck, which is very cool to see. The second pole, we were both in second, and the MT09 gapped the R6 for quite a while. Once I got at least closer to 10,000, that's when I started gaining. And then of course we ran out of runway. But clearly the R6 is set up for higher speed, higher end power. This is more for low end, so really cool to see that difference. And then last up, just because I have a nearly straight piped R6, let's do a rev off, a bone stock MT09. Let's crank this thing up. All right, not bad, not bad. Cameron, you might have to put an exhaust on it soon. All right, so we got GYTR and then a mid pipe. And yeah, I had my ears plugged for that one because I already knew. But I think that's gonna wrap up comparing the 2020 MT09 to the new-ish generation Yamaha R6. I like them both a lot. The goal is to have both in the garage, of course, but I can totally see having both bikes. This thing is a great all-around bike. It really does everything, and it's super comfortable, and the torque is awesome. It is awesome. Makes that feel very slow when it's in the slower RPMs. And then this thing, this is a faster racer bike, if that even makes sense. Anyway guys, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again to Cameron for lending the bike for today's video, and check out his Instagram down below. Anyway guys, that is it. Give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next video.